From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Stephanie Woodard. Daryl Clark has the evening off. Our top story tonight, a Fairbanks woman is facing felony charges after a shootout with law enforcement officials. 20-year-old Sarah Smoke was arrested on Friday and charged with felony assault and misconduct involving a weapon. That's a Class A felony. Smoke was arraigned on Saturday afternoon in district court. Charging documents filed allege Smoke was the passenger inside of a vehicle driven by Vincent Perdue. During an attempted traffic stop on September 9th, the duo fled and began shooting out of the windows at law enforcement. Now the chase continued through North Pole, where charging documents say Perdue had multiple guns inside of the vehicle, and both he and Smoke fired multiple shots aiming directly at pursuing officers. Perdue was fatally shot after hitting a police vehicle and nearly striking other motorists in the area of Badger Road Elementary School. Smoke was also shot and injured in the shootout. Now, Smoke's attorney alleged his client denied shooting at all. Smoke was ordered to be held without bail.
And really, I guess you could say the statement was a excited utterance in the sense that once somebody's out of the car, she told him that Mr. Smoke had a bunch of guns, they're under the seat. And I quote from the police report, or from the probable cause portion, she denied shooting the guns and stated Perdue was trying to get away. She was in essence a captive audience.
The charge in this case is misconduct involving weapons in the first degree. The gravamen of the charge is shooting a weapon out of a propelled vehicle. Had someone standing in that ditch, we might be looking at a different charge today.
Who has been missing in the woods since last Wednesday evening. 23-year-old Dalton Hansen reportedly wandered away from his hunting camp near the 8-mile mark on the Dalton Highway. Now, family members say he was wearing a hooded sweatshirt and Carhartt jacket, but was not carrying anything else to prepare him for the elements or the rural area. Troopers and the Red Cross have been involved in an extensive search, and though the canines have reportedly hit on his scent at a nearby ridge, the dogs lost the scent, and searchers have found no sign of him at all. A station has been set up off of the highway to direct volunteers who have been running grids in the area.
Cross, the wildlife search and rescue teams have decided to pull out and move their base into town. There are still troopers out there and volunteers looking. However, they're not going to have the resources that they did. Dogs were able to pick up a scent for a while and they lost it, and so we're just kind of back at square one. We have no idea where he is.
Wondering what it's like to be a police officer. For the first time, residents of the interior are invited to learn the ropes. Fairbanks Police Department is hosting their first Citizens Police Academy beginning on September 24th. Chief Randall Aragon and Officer Dennis Ben have begun to craft a course meant to teach residents what it takes to be an officer. The 10-week course will be broken into different areas of policing, and Chief Aragon says it's just another way to branch out the community policing initiative he began in South Fairbanks. Now, 3 objectives: increasing community support, police awareness, and creating genuine cooperation will be the main theme for the academy. The department will be taking applications through Friday for folks who want to attend.
It's to help them understand and to show them what we do and how we do it and why we do it. Patrol procedures, investigation procedures. We have the DA talking about court stuff, gangs, drugs, basically pretty much every facet of what we do here.
All right, when we come back, with the colder temperatures around the corner, it's time to think about the best way to heat your home, and we'll explore the possibilities. Also on Saturday night, fiddlers were playing to Jammed House to benefit the hospice program at the Fairbanks Memorial Hospital. These stories and more when we come back. Welcome back. As the colder weather starts setting in, people are getting their heating systems ready. Because of the high fuel oil prices the past several years, people have found alternatives to heat their homes like pellets and firewood. The increase in the wood burning has caused air quality problems because of particulate matter in the smoke. The EPA designated the borough as a non-attainment area for air quality due to the PM 2.5 or particulates in the air. That caused restrictions on what can be burned and what types of appliances can be used to burn it. Borough officials say, at least for the time being, fuel oil might be the best option, both for cost and for air quality.
For the first time since the winter of 2007-2008, at least at the current prices right now, it will be cheaper to heat your home with home heating oil than it will be to that if you're buying pellets at the current rate, energy logs at the current rate, or if you're buying cut and split and delivered firewood at the current rate.
The 2015 Far North Fiddle Fest is in the books. The 5th edition of the 3-day event designed to benefit the hospice program at the Fairbanks Memorial Hospital wrapped up with a bang at the UAF Davis Concert Hall on Saturday. Coig opened the show, performing their brand of Celtic tunes before a packed house. They were followed by the Paper Boys, who spiced things up with electric guitars, a full drum kit, and a horn section. The April Virch Band performed last, returning to the venue a more classic Celtic sound. The show culminated with a grand finale where all the musicians took the stage for a jam session. An interesting thread between the performers as each band had a member from Canada. Now the benefit concert is the climax of the Fiddle Fest, but it also includes several days of workshops and outreach on the hospice program at FMH.
People who work in hospice or with palliative care going into the community and trying to raise awareness around those issues. I would say with this event, the awareness around the issues probably is more important and more significant than the revenues generated. That's nice too, but I think, you know, just to let folks know that resources are there, just, you know, if they or someone close to them ever needs them.
The Fairbanks Fire Station 1 building on Cushman Street may be renamed after the Fairbanks Fire Chief if the City Council votes to change it. Fairbanks City Mayor John Eberhardt is the author of an ordinance that changes the official name of the fire station headquarters to the Warren B. Cummings Fire Station 1 building. Chief Cummings has served in the Fairbanks Fire Department for 43 years. Eberhardt says Cummings has modernized the department by implementing a fire training center, warm storage facilities for firefighting equipment, and apparatus upgrades for emergency vehicles. He also helped establish a #1 insurance service office rating for the city. Now he's set to retire from his position later this year. Mayor Eberhardt says a council member is worried about the appropriate timing of the ordinance due to a scheduled executive session that discusses a workers' compensation case involving Cummings.
I have not heard of any opposition, but I did in fact talk to a council member who had a little bit of concern whether somehow the resolution might have some impact on the workers' comp claim. I'm hopeful that if it's delayed tonight, it'll come back at the next meeting and be passed by the council. And that would be a fitting and I think wonderful tribute to Chief Cummings.
The oldest service club in Fairbanks held its biggest fundraiser of the year on Saturday. The 18th annual Soroptimist Ladies Night Out drew a large crowd to Raven Landing. Soroptimist International works to improve the lives of women and girls and fights things like domestic violence and sex trafficking. Organizers say it was a good turnout this year, and one of the bachelors that was auctioned said he was surprised that someone would bid $260 for him.
We had a fabulous event. It's been 75 years as a service club in Fairbanks. We've had a bachelor auction, honeydew handyman auction. We enjoyed some wine tasting and chocolates, these chocolates. We had some line dancing, and I believe everybody had a really good time.
They stand for a positive image, they stand for good causes, and so when I was asked to be a part of this, I knew that it would be for the benefit of our community, and so how can you say no?
Joe Cook is up next with the weekend recap in sports, high school football highlights, Ice Dogs results, and more after the break.
Welcome back, Interior Sports fans. Joe Cook here with the weekend recap in local sports. The Fairbanks Ice Dogs handled business in their first series of the season. Saturday night, the Ice Dogs roared back with a 6-goal third period to defeat the Kenai River Brown Bears 7-3. They were down 3-1 going into that third period. Fairbanks scored 3 empty net goals to close it out. Todd Burgess, Logan Coombs, and Reiner Gorowski all tallied 4 points in the win. Fairbanks was the only team to sweep on opening weekend, so they lead the league with 4 points. Next up on the road trip is a series against the Minnesota Wilderness, a rematch of last year's Midwest Division Finals, and of course, the Wilderness are the defending Robertson Cup champions. Saturday night football in the interior featured the Blood Bowl. It was the first matchup between Lathrop and Allison since 2012. As we get a look at those highlights, Allison came in with a 13-game winning streak and a number 2 ranking. They were hampered by turnovers after an Allison fumble. Lathrop catches in with a Scotty McKendry touchdown. Start of a big day for him, but it was just 14-7 at halftime. Allison's Antonio Griffith was responsible for all of Allison's scores. He had 2 on the ground and 1 through the air. But that wouldn't be enough for the Ravens. McKinstry had a huge game for the Malamutes. He had 237 total yards of offense, 217 on the ground, and 3 scores. Lathrop went up 28-14 on a Darius Maiden touchdown run with 7 minutes to go. The Malamutes end the Ravens' win streak with a 35-21 victory. Lathrop's 2-2 on the year, while Allison suffers their first loss. They dropped to 4-1. And now the latest Alaska Sports Broadcasting Network's Week 5 polls. There's a bit of shuffling going on and some big matchups this week. In large schools polls, this week's number 1 team is Bartlett. They will play number 2 Diamond this week. East Anchorage is 3rd, followed by Chugiak and Colony. West Valley hosts Colony this Friday night. In the small and medium schools polls, So High is number 1, then Nikiski at number 2. North Pole comes in at number 3, then Juneau and Allison. Nikiski and Allison will clash this Saturday on Allison Air Force Base, which may be the most important game of the season for both of those teams, so got to see that one. And you may have heard the phrase, history repeats itself. 2 volleyball teams lived out that saying on Saturday. In the West Valley Invitational Final, the West Valley Wolfpack and Monroe Rams met for the 3rd straight year. And the best out of 3, the Rams took the first set 25-22. They led by as much as 6 in the set. Ruthie Hubert, she set the tone in the 2nd set. She had a match-high 11 kills for the Wolfpack. Kiana King, she kept the Rams close. She led them with 7 kills and 3 aces. However, West Valley's defense and service game picked up. Brianna Slater had 3 of her 4 aces to seal the 2nd set, 25-16 for the Pack. And Amber Smith had back-to-back aces to give West Valley a 15-9 win in the final set. Wolfpack come from behind for the 3rd straight year to defeat Monroe in the Invitational Final.
Well, once we started talking in the back row a lot, we started moving more, and you know, you got to move and just kind of watch where the ball's going. And Kiana's such a great outside hitter that it was hard, but we got there, and it was so much fun.
Well, you got to understand, each team that we brought here has been different. It has different dynamics. So this team here, one thing that I liked about this weekend with all the 4A teams here, we never quit. And that's something I hope they take away from this weekend to get us ready for regionals.
I think we bring out the best in each other. I mean, they're just 2 good programs, great athletes, and we just push. We just happen to be getting on top of it.
And we close out the Monday Sportscast with the I-5 Interior Top 5 plays. Which one of these will be the play of the week?
Coming in at number 5, Caitlin Spencer finds Carly Fitzgerald for a 62-yard touchdown catch, 1 of 3 for her, as the Lathrop Malamutes shut out the North Pole Patriots 23-0 on Wednesday in flag football. At number 4, Olivia Shellikins breaks for a 52-yard touchdown run as the Wolfpack come from behind in a 20-7 win over Hutchinson to extend their winning streak to 11 games on Thursday. At number 3, Lathrop Scotty McKinstry finds the end zone 3 times to lead the Malamutes over then number 2 ranked Allison on Saturday night in a 35-21 Blood Bowl victory for the Mutes. At number 2, Amber Smith serves back-to-back aces in the final set against Monroe for the Wolfpack to secure West Valley's 3rd straight invitational title over the Rams on Saturday. And at number 1, North Pole quarterback Dew Rogers breaks for not 1 but 2 80-plus yard touchdown runs as the Patriots win a wild game against Kodiak on Friday night, 52-48. To vote for the play of the week, click on your favorite play on the I-5 poll on webcenter11.com. You can also comment on the KTVF Facebook and YouTube post and at KTVF11 Sports on Twitter for your vote. The play of the week will be revealed this Friday.
The I-5 Sports Report is brought to you by Adient Orthopedic Physical Therapy.
And that'll do it for sports tonight. Thanks for watching. Your full weather forecast is up next with Mike Schultz, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into the Fbx Evening News for Monday night. Mike Schultz with you once again talking about the weather. Hope you had yourself a good weekend. It was a wild one. We had some interesting weather this weekend by all means. In fact, we'll go to our video and show you what happened Sunday morning in case you missed it. Living on the west side of town, it was snowing to beat the band pretty good. Even a couple of inches up in the Chena Ridge area. And you can see here that there was a lot of snow falling in big white flakes. That was just kind of a freaky situation. Some cold air passed over, got mixed up with that rain, and that's what happened. Okay, let's go to our photograph for today and show you what's going on as far as our submission for today. This one's sent in by Natalia Taylor. She was able to capture this field of wildflowers, beautiful colors, and even a little kitty cat there. And again, as always, if you have a photograph to share, send it to photos@ktvf11.com. Your numbers look like this. Today's high was 45, last night's low 41, so not a real big contrast there. Record high 76 in 2014, but in 1987 it dropped down to 21. Your sunrise and sunset 13 hours and 11 minutes, a loss of 6 minutes from yesterday. Here's the frontal boundary that moved through today, bringing with it the rain. You can see it's clearing out rapidly behind it, so we should just see some very isolated shower activity later on this evening after most of this gets out of our neck of the woods. But for right now, it's taking its sweet time moving through. And then upstream behind that, not a whole lot to expected to come in. What's going on across the rest of the state? Well, over southeast Alaska, they have cloudy skies for the most part. It is raining down around the Anchorage Bowl area. Kodiak, 60 degrees and partly cloudy skies. Elsewhere, we have up and down the west coast, a little shower activity over the southwest, then cloudy skies at Nome, 47 there. Barrow, just a little bit above freezing, cloudy skies, and Fort Yukon, cloudy and 43. Lower 48 weather, well, the hot temperatures are continuing over the western half of the country. 91 degrees in Denver, 80 in Salt Lake City. Finally, some rain over the Pacific Northwest, even around Los Angeles. They're getting rain shower activity, but still 97 degrees in Las Vegas, 98 at Phoenix, 90 degrees in Dallas, and just partly cloudy skies at Minneapolis. Over the eastern half of the country, temperatures have cooled down quite a bit from last week, and not in the 90s at least. 75 degrees in New York, 82 in Chicago, and 77 in Atlanta. On the satellite and radar, not a whole lot going on over the eastern side of the country. A few showers across the western sections and across the Pacific Northwest. The frontal boundary bringing much colder air expected, and that is going to be reflected tomorrow with onshore flow increasing, which means cooler temperatures. That will help the firefighters battling those fires, thank goodness. And over the overall jet stream, I should say, you can see a little bit of a dip taking place over on the middle of part of this week, and then dropping down and bringing the cooler air over a larger portion of the country than it was last week. Still hot over the southern sections. Well, it is time once again for our kids' weather, and this week we've got a new group of kids to talk with. These kids are from Arctic Light Elementary School, and here's a young man with a story to share with you.
When I was 5 years old, one big flood hit my hometown, Hidalgo, Texas. I was in school ready to go home, but then a big storm hit Hidalgo and McAllen. All of the streets and some of houses were full with water, and people were getting help by the police. It was a big disaster. The flood lasted 3 days. I was so scared. My family and I had to go to Dallas because it was so bad.
And Marco told me that everything worked out okay, so that's good news. Again, thanks to Mount McKinley Bank for sponsoring our kids' weather and for their 50 years of service to the interior. Tomorrow night, a young lady will be here to share a picture with us. Here's your forecast for the Alaska area. First of all, the northern section, snow showers at Barrow, rain showers in Fort Yukon, and mostly sunny skies for Nome. Over the interior, we're looking at scattered showers to continue and rain and snow showers possibly for the Healy area. Over the southeast part of the state, looks like more rain moving in there, scattered rain showers for Juneau and Ketchikan. Well, out to the southwest, we're looking at rain showers at Cold Bay and Bethel, partly cloudy skies at Kodiak, and down around the Anchorage Bowl. Looks like rain will be in the forecast there too. Scattered showers for Anchorage and Homer, and just periods of rain for Valdez. On our forecast for the remainder of the night, we're calling for, once again, the scattered rain showers, 37 degrees for the overnight low. Also tomorrow's forecast, 46 degrees, continued cloudy with scattered rain showers. And the 5-day outlook. Looks like an off and on chance of showers through the week with temperatures cooling down once again. Only the 50-degree mark for the highs. Overnight lows will also be dropping down to around 36 degrees each night. But no more of that white stuff in the forecast, guys.
All right, thanks, Mike. That'll wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. As always, we're glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, veteran firefighters in California are describing their fires as devastating, the ones they're fighting right now. More with Lester Holt coming up next.
You can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
All right, from all of us at the News Center, have a good night.
Good night.